Saturday Night Live!
Not that exciting. We're actually in Maine.
What? We're way more exciting than Saturday Night Live. Don't listen to her. She's lying. It's fake news.
You said we were in New York. We're not. We're not in California. We're in Maine, where it is currently 10:42, so everything's closed.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Okay. I am going to put that thumbnail up. Talk to the people, please. Talk to the people. Wait a minute. Where is it?
Look at that. Newsmax.
Are we not up?
Newsmax. No, we're up. We got 12 people watching right now.
Yeah, but where'd they come from?
Newsmax. An ownership link was added to your video from the page Middle America because we quoted Newsmax in the thing. So they took an ownership thing because they're trying to, you know.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Shout out to Newsmax.
Everybody wants something.
Yep.
All right.
I gotta put a thumbnail on this. What's up, everybody?
I just put a thumbnail right now.
Talk to the people.
This one?
Yeah, that's perfect, babe. That's perfect. What's going on, everybody? We're doing a fire stream. We got a bunch of cool stuff on the way for you, beautiful people. Thank you guys for showing up. Isaac in the house. River in the house. Woo! River Roth. Yes.
I cannot wait to look at that video you sent me.
LeBron hating on Brady.
I saw that it was like 35 minutes. I'm like, okay, when I crawl into bed tonight, I'm gonna watch it. And then I'm gonna try it out on Vin tomorrow.
Yeah.
What?
Are you gonna see a Megadeth at a concert? Seeing them this September.
It's how to break down an argument.
Inshallah, we'll see it in September. Inshallah. Inshallah. Good job with the MA video. My friend was telling me about the Tucker Carlson video earlier, so I was meaning to watch it. Yeah, no doubt. Oh, my main man! My main man is in the house.
Hello. All right.
Captain Corpse in the house. Mind if I drop a heavy question right off the bat? No, we don't mind. That's why we said ask us everything. Keith Hammer in the house. What's up, Keith Hammer? What Trivium song wouldn't you like to know? We're not going to tell you until it's time because we like try to blackmail you to hang out with us. Keith Hammer in the house from the Facebook world. What's up? Any Twitch folks? We gotta promo Twitch, babe. We gotta shoot another commercial.
Okay.
Because we've had a lot of other things we need to add. I have set up a Twitch account because we are going to we're gonna do the Twitch thing with the video games. No, I don't think LeBron. Okay, so there's the debate. LeBron's best childhood friend.
I just posted on Patreon. Is there somewhere else I'm supposed to post this?
Nope, that's perfect.
Okay.
Maverick Carter was talking about who's the best like all-time sports person, period. And obviously at the time they were talking about Brady. At the time Brady had 6 rings. And so, whatever. And LeBron's point was to say, yeah, but we have to play offense and defense, so it's more taxing on our body.
Yeah.
And I would
I
would say as far as the longevity thing goes, what LeBron James has done longevity-wise is insane and will never, ever, ever be replicated again. The amount, I mean, you saw it with Durant. Like, anytime we ask people to do what LeBron has been doing his entire career, they completely fold, they get injured, whatever. But as far as greatness, it's Tom Brady, and I don't believe it's even close. There's never been a time where Tom Brady had a psychological meltdown in a championship. Never. It's never happened. And LeBron did. He did. He melted down against Dallas. Nobody holds him losing against the Spurs. He got swept. He had no business being in the final. Nobody holds that against him. Nobody did. But what happened when he was with D-Wade, Chris Bosh? He completely melted down and let Dirk Nowitzki run off into the sunset with the title. Completely inexcusable. Tom Brady has never had...
off into the sunset with the title?
Tom Brady has never had a meltdown. The way that Tom Brady handles pressure, we've never seen it before, and it's not even close. What LeBron has accomplished with his longevity and health and all that is amazing. And, Brady with the pliability, that's great. But as far as LeBron James has just run his body into the ground in ways that we have. The guy's probably, when they calculate how much ground he's covered, he's probably ran like 5,000 miles in his entire career. The guy, it's not even close. But as far as like greatness, forget it. It's it's Tom Brady, and it's not even close.
James Ward just said, Tom Brady is so boring, though.
Yeah, I do think that the thing about Brady is that he is boring. He doesn't do the whole, like, I'm going to flip the ball like Patrick Mahomes. He is not a boring person by any means, I don't think. The let's go and that passion, I love that shit.
Well, what do they call it? What is that one newscaster? Well, he talks a lot about the sports stuff. He calls it something. There's something.
Psycho Tom.
Psycho Tom. Yeah,
Psycho
that's
Tom.
what it is.
Psycho Tom. LeBron is amazing. I mean, LeBron. You know, when I look at I talked about this in a video when we looked at the whole The Last Dance thing, and Michael was talking about everybody going after him for the gambling and how he wanted to quit because of the gambling. It's like,
I thought that was a valid point that you brought up.
That's a Wednesday to LeBron James.
Yeah,
like.
I think that's true.
I don't think Jordan wins 6 titles in today's NBA. I really don't. I don't think he had the mental constitution to deal with it. So, anyway. Look, Tom Brady's a check down king, but it works. I don't know about that. Zonia in the house. Zonia is about to... Well, I don't know. Zonia, you can say... You shared something in one of our, like, closed forums, so I don't want to... whatever. So, I want to promote your channel. Z, if anything about the channel or whatever, any announcements, let me know and I'll promote it on this channel for sure. My thoughts on UFOs. My thoughts on UFOs are that they definitely exist. And I do not believe that the Chinese, the Russians, or the Americans made the vast majority of the UFOs that were covered. It's like 144 of them, and 143 of them were unexplained. So
there's that.
So that's what I believe. Now, somebody asked me a heavy question, and I must have missed it. Was it, what was the guy's name?
Do you guys think I should shave this side? The kid said no.
No! I especially Dorian. I knew Dorian would...
I don't even think I've asked Dorian yet. The kids were very horrified.
Okay, so Captain Corpse, 1980. Let me just bring up Captain Corpse.
So wait. Do you guys think that would look good?
Oh, there it is. There it is, right there.
I think it would look so cool.
Do you believe there is irrefutable evidence to support the existence of God? And then he then goes on to say scientific evidence. Yeah, I think that DNA is information, and information and the transference of information is a mental operation. And so when you've got DNA that's information, that's literally a code, so much so that we can now jump in, change something, so now you can have a designer baby. You want to tell me that, I'm not saying you, I'm saying the general. Anybody who says that came about randomly without purpose is just, I'm sorry, I'm out. I can't do it. We just got done talking about scientific racism. And the reason that's important is not, I mean, obviously, basically scientific racism was the fact that some of the greatest scholars and scientists of the time, about 150 years ago, believed that one, that race is an actual biological and genetic distinction, and two, that white people were superior. Now, the purpose of me bringing this up is to talk about science is not... We have this perception of scientists that they're all just white coats in a lab and everybody's just trying to find the truth. And they don't care about... All they're worried about is finding the truth. If that was the case, we would not have had scientific racism. The reason that the scientific racists lost was not because of the scientific method. The reason that scientific racists lost was because of the Civil War. And if you research, the DSM and how that goes, a lot of these scientific decisions get made based on what's happening in the zeitgeist. That's just a fact. So when people say, what's the scientific evidence, we have to add in the fact that just like with the media and just like with every other discipline, a lot of folks are influenced by presuppositions and what they want to be true or not true. That's a fact. It's just a fact. Okay? So, what I would say is the first kind of step would be that DNA is information. On top of that, We have DNA processing machines, and I've played this video on a million occasions. I don't want to play it again because I've played it 4 or 5 times. But essentially, literally, the scientists said it was an assembly line and a turbine that spins faster than a jet engine, or as fast as a jet engine. And one of the strands is going this way, the other strand is inverted, so that when they come together, they meet and they literally use the term machinery. And so here's what I would say. Here's what I would say about evidence for God. When you walk on the beach, right, and you see the beautiful ridges, that is not an indication of a designer. You know what I'm talking about when the tide is high and then it comes out and then it makes those pretty cool ridges that you see and it's like, oh, it's beautiful. That is not an indication of design. It's just aesthetically pleasing and it's beautiful. And as humans, we always look for patterns, right? But when you're walking down the beach and you see those ridges, but then you see a sign, and the sign says, go to the blue kayak if you want to go slow, and go to the green kayak if you want to go fast, and the keys will be in the left seat. If I said to you, yeah, that was also done randomly, you wouldn't believe me. You wouldn't believe me. One, because you know that it takes intellect to communicate in any sort of intelligible way. As a matter of fact, the term intelligible is used to talk about something that you could apply your intelligence to understand. Okay? So when you look at the sign on the beach, you know immediately there's a difference between the sign on the beach and the ridges. The ridges kind of happened out of nowhere, but the sign on the beach, somebody with a mind is communicating to you, and then on top of that, they're directing you in a certain way to manipulate reality. I want to put you in the green one or the blue one. That's what information does. I'm sorry, but anything that you see on that beach, that sign on that beach, is crayons compared to one strand of your DNA and then the mechanism that happens to replicate it. So I'm sorry, but just as you would say it's ridiculous, the idea, if I said, no, there was a tin and paint factory and then boom, there's an explosion and that's what happened on the sign. Just as you would say that that is ridiculous and you wouldn't believe it, I would say when something that's infinitely more complex and does, listen very closely, your cells do not have the appearance of design.
Right.
They are designed.
Right.
That's why they use terms like machinery and turbines, etc. So they don't have the appearance of design. They are designed and they have a function and they fulfill that function. And the last thing I'll say is, one of the ways that we gauge technology is how small we can make the machine. So, you know, back in the day, a computer would be...
The first computer was so big, people could go in to clean it.
Yeah, That's
what I heard.
It was like 5 times the size of the room.
Yeah.
Okay? And then as we got more and more adept, computers began to shrink.
Now they have a smart ring.
This computer is more powerful than the computers that were first invented, right? But your cell and the turbines that run it are microscopically small machines that are massively efficient. And you want to tell me that I'm not saying you. Anybody who tells me, yeah, man, that just happened randomly, there's no telos. Okay, I'm out. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Doesn't make any sense. Can't make any sense. And as Bricktown says, the first computers were humans, women mostly. Yeah, nobody... But Vin, what would be the indication of design? Okay, so I'm going to play the video one more time because it's a valid question.
Daniel, I'm in that email and there's no email from you.
What is? Oh, Daniel says something?
Yeah.
Let me show you the machine that I'm talking about because it's a good question. Well, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Nothing. I'm just trying to get some.
What are you trying to do?
Well, he said that he sent us a song, and I don't have it on the list, and so I want to look into it right now.
Okay.
But I told him to email me. He said he did, but I don't.
What's up, Mook? Whoa, Mookud, my guy. Mookud, my guy. All right. right. I'm going to have to do this one more time. But it is fascinating. I think it's important. So we should do it. Talk to the people.
All right. So let's see. What's up, Jay? With all due respect, even the notion of DNA can be thought of in this grand romantic picture of divinity. But those functions, as incredibly efficient as they may seem, they are also incredibly flawed.
Yeah, but you can only say they're flawed if there's a design. Nobody says that a random thing is flawed. Like when your car doesn't start, you say there's a flaw. And the reason is when you say something is a flaw, what you're talking about is something is wrong with the design. Mm-hmm. You don't take a random thing of seashells and say that's a flaw. Mm-hmm. You can only have a flaw if something deviates from a design.
Bingo.
So again, even if you talk about the supposed flaws, I'm sure there are, which obviously a Christian worldview can explain that as well, because we're in a fallen world. You still have to account for the fact that we've got engines and turbines and things of that nature that are communicating and replicating information. I'm sorry, we've never seen anything like that ever, and it's not because science is going to figure out tomorrow. Science is never going to find us a square circle. I keep telling people that. Science will never find us a square circle. Science is beholden to the laws of logic. The scientific method is simply applying the laws of logic to the scientific endeavor. So you're never going to find a square circle in the universe. And you will also never find information and systems and machines that pop up out of the ether randomly. I don't care how many years you have. It's not going to happen because it's logically impossible is my point. Talk to the people.
Babe, you were just talking nonstop.
Well,
and now I'm in the middle of something.
I got it.
Isn't this more an argument for deism? Any god could be slotted in for such a design argument. Also, that zeal and ardor track tonight? Question mark?
Zeal and ardor. Well, yes, I agree. By itself, I agree with you. That argues for deism. Deism is the idea for everybody else that there is a God. He just kind of spun the world into existence, and then he went off. That is an argument for deism. I would say though that Jesus is the other plank of that. So I agree with you. If that's all I had, you don't get to Christianity, but that's not all I have. So you should be a Christian. Was that River that said that?
Yeah, that was River.
Yeah, I know. See, I could tell when River is thinking. Okay, so we have to do it this way because our download mechanism for one reason or another is not working. I don't know why. Okay, guys. So what?
Daniel, I didn't know who you were. You're
what
not
happened?
Daniel. Remember the kid we talked to the other night? I'm pretty sure that's
Which
him.
Daniel?
Isn't that the name of the kid that you were talking to that was
Oh,
honest?
my buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, I found the video, guys. Check it out.
Okay, Daniel, I'm emailing you back with the secret email. You can have that one. Okay?
That's right. Did we get him his shirt?
No, that's why I'm getting his information.
In this animation, we'll see the remarkable way our DNA is tightly packed up so that 6 feet of this long molecule fits into the microscopic nucleus of every cell.
Okay, so we got 6 feet wrapped around the nucleus. And where if you stretched it out, it would be 6 feet. But it's invisible to the naked eye. Okay?
The process starts when DNA is wrapped around special protein molecules called histones. The combined loop of DNA and protein is called a nucleosome. Next, the nucleosomes are packaged into a thread. The end result is a fiber known as chromatin. This fiber is then looped and coiled yet again.
It's looped and it's coiled.
Leading finally to the familiar shapes known as chromosomes, which can be seen in the nucleus of dividing cells. Chromosomes are not always present. They form around the time cells divide when the two copies of the cell's DNA need to be separated.
Now watch this, guys. Watch this and listen closely to what she said. Ian,
using computer animation based on molecular research, we are now able to see how DNA is actually copied in living cells. You are looking at an assembly line of amazing miniature biochemical machines that are pulling apart the DNA double helix and cranking out a copy of each strand. The DNA to be copied enters the production line from bottom left.
The production line.
The whirling blue molecular machine is called helicase. It spins the DNA as fast as a jet engine as it unwinds the double helix into 2 strands. One strand is copied continuously and can be seen spooling off to the right. Things are not so simple for the other strand because it must be copied backwards. It is drawn out repeatedly in loops and copied one section at a time.
Copied.
The end result is 2 new DNA molecules.
Okay, I'm sorry. Machines, copied, assembly line, all that's happening at the microscopic level. An engine that spins as fast as a turbine, that spins as fast as a jet engine. Sorry, I'm sorry. I cannot look at that and go, oh yeah,
that just happened.
No, that's not the appearance of design. That's the design, and a damn efficient one too. So I want to address something because Ian brought it up, and you guys know how I feel about Ian. That's my guy. That is my guy. Ian asked a question. I want to post it. Okay. If it's true that DNA is designed, then why wasn't it designed to replicate itself efficiently? Well, the term efficiently here, Ian, my brother, is a subjective statement. What do you mean? I think it's very efficient. It's happening right now, and we don't know it's happening. As a matter of fact, we're the only human beings in the history of human beings that have ever even had a visualization about what's happening. That's how efficiently the machine is working. If DNA could replicate perfectly, we wouldn't age or have cancer. Well, from a biblical perspective, this makes a lot of sense. Only a Christian worldview, by the way, can explain how simultaneously we have a brilliant machine that has assembly lines, wind turbines, and copies and pastes and all the rest of it, while simultaneously recognizing the fact that there are deviations in it, flaws, as some people said, or as Ian said, it's not efficient because we don't live forever. The answer to that, from a biblical perspective, is God. Actually, the scripture explicitly states it, that God condemned the world to the bondage of decay due to Adam's sin. Because God didn't keep us in a state of being eternal beings who can run roughshod over the earth. Imagine if a guy like Adolf Hitler couldn't die, or Mussolini, or Stalin, or Caesar. Imagine if those were eternal beings. So God has manipulated our genetic code to wind down and die because of our sin. But I have to push back on you guys. I'm going to push back on you guys. You're saying there's a design flaw is a concession that there is some sort of order and design to it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to call it a flaw, right? So I want to push back on you guys and say, you're telling us that what we just saw, a turbine and assembly lines and all the rest of it, codes and copying and all the rest of it, that just happened randomly with no direction. That's not the appearance of design, my brothers and sisters. That is what design is. If that's not design, then nothing is design. And if that's not a machine, then nothing is a machine. So I think it's clear that there is a mind. There is an ultimate mind doing this stuff. Okay? Computer animation is irrefutable evidence. No, the animation is not the irrefutable evidence. The words of the scientists are the irrefutable evidence. The scientists are telling us that DNA is information. The scientists are telling us it's a code. The scientists are using terms like machine and turbine. All the animation does is visualize what the scientists are telling us. So we're going with the science. Good statement, though. Good statement. Yeah, I love you, my brother, but that's not an answer to the question, right? How do you get a machine, a turbine, an assembly line, and information that works in a coherent fashion so that you've got billions and billions of human beings on the planet? That processing capability is described by the top scientists as a machine, including Richard Dawkins, by the way, who said he was blown sideways. I'm gonna show you guys the actual quote, the tweet from the big homie, because it was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. But you know, look, I'm gonna do the little thingamajig. Okay, so here's a screenshot. Okay, here's the big homie Richard Dawkins. And by the way, all these people, all you guys who are saying it's not evidence of design, do you know? Here you go, guys. Here's Richard Dawkins. Animations like this, especially part 2, knock me sideways with wonder at the miniaturized intricacy of the data processing machinery in the living cell, and with admiration for the science that's worked it all out. So we're going to admire the science that worked it all out, but then we're going to say that a miniaturized, intricate data processing machine came about randomly and unguided. I'm out! I'm sorry! That doesn't make any sense to me. That makes no sense whatsoever. Unbelievable. And then here's Gabriel. Gabriel, how about you come on and let's have a discussion. Let's have a respectful discussion and honor one another, right? You don't have to do the magical space wizard, insecure thing. How about you and I come on and we have a discussion? How about that? And then we can show everybody that people can disagree and still be agreeable. How about we do that instead of the other thing? How about we do that? I have no problem talking to you. I'm not worried at all. I'll send you a link and you can come talk to us. Right? Can we do that? You're caught up with the word machine. It's a metaphor to explain something that's complicated. No, it's not a metaphor to explain something that's complicated. It does what machines do. Do you know what a machine is, Sheikh? Here, let me read to you what a machine is, okay? Because I think it's important. Sheikh, here's what a machine is. Okay?
Rivers would come on.
An apparatus or mechanical power and having several parts, each with a definite function, together performing a particular task. That's what a machine is. That's not a metaphor. That is literally what happened. That's literally what happened. I will do it again for you. I will define it again for you. Okay? This is what a machine is. Okay? An apparatus using or applying mechanical power and having several parts, each with a definite function and together performing a particular task. That is a machine. That's a machine. So when you see what was happening in the cell, that is absolutely the definition of what a machine is. As a matter of fact, that machine came before our machines.
River will come on.
Sorry. Yeah, man. Sure. We'll talk later. We'll talk later, Ian. No sweat. Ian, come on. Whoever.
River, if you have the link, use it.
Yeah, come on. And then here's Wikipedia. Check. Wikipedia is not an official place to go for information because everybody and their mother can edit Wikipedia. What I just showed you is Merriam-Webster in Oxford. Okay? So let's go and have an actual discussion. Call in, Sheikh. Let's jump on and have a conversation. Don't leave it to 14-year-old Daniel.
Where's the...
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's a machine. It's an intricate machine. It's not a basic machine either, by the way. It's a pretty complex, intricate one. So Sorry, man.
Babe, can you drop the link?
So that's why I say that I think there's irrefutable evidence of God. At minimum, there's obvious irrefutable evidence of a divine mind. There's the guest link. Anybody who wants to get on can get on.
Here you go, River. I didn't have it, so I can send it.
I just posted the guest link. River, you can jump on it. Yeah, we know there's different definitions, Yashek. But what I'm saying is the most common definition of machine, that cell fits that description. Isn't that true? my own
again, because all those other people, these guys are all pansies, they're all cowards, and I'm not afraid, damn it. I'm here. I'm putting the dirty buds into my ear holes. And I'm ready to go.
All right, Danny. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna peace out for a second, Danny, because the big homie River, the big homie River is there. Okay, so River, talk to me.
So I wanted to go in on what you said earlier about which part was it? Give me a second. My brain's kind of blanking on me here.
Sure.
You mentioned the bit about how the curse from God for the fall of man being an explanation for why the machine doesn't work as properly as we might think it would from a perfect creator, right?
Doesn't work with perfect efficiency.
Am I understanding the argument?
The argument is that God... Right. Let me give you the argument. The argument is that God designed everything, including our DNA. And just like Apple has planned obsolescence within their machines, and it's not a flaw in their machine, it's planned obsolescence because they have another goal. God did the same thing with our DNA structure, as well as the entire universe, condemning it to bondage to decay is what Romans 8 said. Yes, that's what I believe.
Okay. Gotcha. So here's where my issue falls for this. It's not that you're not wrong in understanding of where you're coming from, but from a pagan perspective, from various different mythologies, Pandora's box, for instance, from the Pan-Hellenist belief, would do a similar job explaining the same thing. This still doesn't prove beyond a shadow of
Say that again. I'm sorry. Wait. Say that again. What did you just say?
This still doesn't prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Christian God is the correct one. I.e., you have the story of Pandora's box explaining why the human body is physically cursed, as well as having various spiritual and social ills, giving the exact same kind of reason. Now, the story of Pandora was made by the gods to weaken humanity. Now, that's from the Greek Hellenist perspective. I don't know if there's a particular story from Norse perspective that might do the same thing. But the argument still exists from other, religions that could fill in that same fall from grace.
Well, no, I agree with that. That's not my argument. Look, the first question was, do you have scientific evidence for the existence of God, right? And so what I said is, yeah, the cell, what I just showed you in a cell proves that there's a divine mind. But I also agree with you. It doesn't prove that Christianity is true. There's other reasons that I believe that the Christian God is the true God. But before I get into those, I want to show you something. And I want to play like the who said this game, right? Like who did this? And please don't. Well, I trust you. I know you're not going to Google it. So I'm going to read this to you, right? And then I want you to tell me who said it. An honest man armed with all the knowledge available to us now could only state that in some sense the origin of life appears at the moment to be almost a miracle. So many are the conditions which have had to be satisfied to get it going. Do you know who said that?
I have a guess. It sounds familiar. Give me a second to think.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's Charles Darwin.
No.
I might be wrong, but I think it's Darwin.
No, you're wrong, but he was a scientist. That was the homie Crick. You know who Crick is?
Crick. I don't know Crick.
The guy. Oh, you do. If I say
That's
Watson,
not a name that I'm familiar with.
I bet you anything. Once I say this, you'll know who I'm talking about. Watson and Crick. The DNA stuff.
The names are familiar. Are familiar, but I do not remember them.
Okay, so it's the guys who discovered DNA, the two scientists, right? They discovered
Right.
DNA in the molecule. Yeah, that's them. Okay. Now, Crick died an agnostic. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Mm-hmm. He never became a Christian. I don't even think he became a theist. You know what's interesting though? After he discovered DNA, do you know what he came up with as a theory?
Not sure.
Panspermia.
Panspermia. I think I've heard that term. Yeah.
Panspermia is the idea that aliens came and populated the Earth.
Right, which is another various theories on how Earth came to be populated.
You know why he adopted that position?
I'm going to guess because he did not have a belief in God, so he had to find a logical reason from an atheist perspective.
Correct. He couldn't look. He saw what you and I just saw, right? He saw machines. He saw an assembly line. He saw all that, and he's like, "There's no way that came about by random processes." But he doesn't want to believe in God either. So it was aliens that did it. Okay.
I mean, and I'm going to point out that does kind of lead to a bit of an issue for that position of being from whence came the aliens.
Correct. And the aliens have DNA themselves, so who created the aliens' DNA, right?
I mean, for all we know, yes. But again, the one thing about life as we know it, we only know us, and we don't know if there's anything else out there.
Well, hold on. Wait. Captain Corpse. That's not my belief. What we just talked about is Crick's belief, who was an atheist and who didn't hold to panspermia, but adopted panspermia after he saw what we all just saw. So it wasn't my belief, bro. I'm telling you what Crick, the guy who studied and saw and discovered, was credited with discovering DNA. We know how that goes, right? Once he saw that, he said, well, shit, somebody made this. It's just like when you walk on the beach, right? If you walk on the beach and you see the ridges, you go, okay, that happened, randomly. But then when you see the sign, you know that somebody applied it. So Crick looked at it and said, holy shit, somebody designed this. We can't say it's God, so it's aliens. That's not my belief, bro. That's fact. That's him. Okay, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. So the one thing that I'll simply say as far as that from whence came argument is, at least from a pagan perspective, there's a lot of reason to believe that any of these stories could be true. I don't know for sure. I know that
Which one?
I've had experiences
Which
with
story?
Specifically the idea of from whence we as a species came.
Okay.
Same for all other, life on this planet. Which, as far as we're aware, is the only life that we know. Now, there's a chance, according to scientists, that life could not use DNA in certain versions. They're not sure. It's a thing because they've found signs that life might be on. I can't remember which moon it was, but one of the frozen moons around Jupiter, I believe.
Yeah.
It's Jupiter or Saturn. I'm not sure which. And we don't know if that life works the same way that life as we know it does. It might not be based on carbon. It might be based on something else.
You're completely right. I agree with you.
So we don't know if DNA is the...
Where are you and I disagreeing? What are we disagreeing on?
I don't think that we're disagreeing. I think that my point is more that because of the fact that there are stories from other pantheons to explain why the system is inefficient, it doesn't really help the case for Christianity.
Well, no.
There are cases
Okay.
Hellenism that argue that why our bodies fail. There's stories from every religion on why our bodies fail and collapse.
You're not understanding. I'm not saying that the Christian explanation for the fall is the only explanation for pain and suffering in the world. The argument was very specific. It was, okay, if there is a designer, how do you, and God is perfect, how do you account for the imperfection in the design? So I was simply saying that speaks nothing about God's ability to create an efficient machine. And I brought up Apple. Apple plans obsolescence. We know that. And that does not mean that does not mean that they didn't know how to build the phone. That means they planned it for a specific reason. And what I'm saying is that the fall is what we call planned obsolescence. Your body is eventually going to die so that you can face the spiritual reality that you have a God that you have to stand in front of who's going to judge you and reward you according to your works, good or evil, that were done in the body. So that's all I'm saying. But I agree with you. There are a lot of philosophies and explanations that deal with human suffering. I was just addressing the flaw in the design argument.
Okay, I might have been misunderstanding and maybe wanting to make a bit of a different argument myself. My point was more that while we do have, I think for the most part we're in agreement. Outside of particulars of what did it, how, and why.
Right. Right. The cell machinery thing doesn't get us automatically to Christianity, and I was never arguing that. All the cell machine, actually, to be honest with you, the cell machinery thing doesn't even get us to God. All it means is that we got here because some mind designed us. That's all it shows to me. It doesn't prove that there is a God, and it certainly doesn't prove the Christian.
It's a good argument for deism.
If I left that alone, if I agree with you, if Jesus of Nazareth never walked the earth, then I'd say this is a good, deism. But there's a second half of this entire discussion, and we can have the second half at another time if you want.
I think that might be fun at some point. I will need to be far more brushed up on my own stuff before we have that conversation. But I'm definitely down, and I think Sori knows how to get in contact with me. So if you want to text me and plan something like that, go for it.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let's communicate, and then look, it doesn't have to be online in front of people or whatever you're most comfortable with. That's what we'll do. Okay.
I mean, I'm down for just a private conversation.
Okay.
I like talking with you. It's fun.
Yeah. You're my guy anyway, so yeah, let's do it.
For sure. All right, guys. Cool, I'm going to go ahead and just say one last thing. Any chance we doing that Zeal and Ardor track tonight?
Well, it's you, so we might bump Oceans. I mean, you're my guy, so. All right, buddy.
All right, love you guys. Have a good evening.
Too, man. Salam alaikum.
Bye.
That's my guy. We got another homie in the house. What's up, big homie? Hey! Hey, Dan!
Yeah, good, brother, good. I just want to expand on
wow. Hey,
what you were.
Hold on, it's so good to see you, and it's so good to see you smiling, bro. I was completely caught off guard. I didn't see his name. All I saw was like a bunch of letters. Mm-hmm. It's the big homie Dan,
Babe, do you think him and Bricktown kind of look alike?
Yeah, him and Bricktown. Yeah, they
could
could be
related,
like long
right?
lost brothers. Yeah.
No. You got it twisted. Bricktown looks like me, motherfucker.
He's older than Brick. That's right.
Yeah, it's his big brother there.
Hey, man. Yeah. What's up, bro?
Yeah, just wanted to expand on, the whole alien side of it that you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
So for me, when you look at history and things like that, and the things that can be proven, like on the biblical side of things, and whatnot. So Exhibit A would be the flood, right?
Yeah.
So the flood can be scientifically proven, right? You go across a lot of the, geological basis and science and things like that. So that's irrefutable that the flood happened, right?
Yeah.
Can't be argued. Now, when you go and look at some of these other things, you know, specific gods from different pantheons and things like that, and stories. So you've got the Greek pantheon, you got the Roman pantheon, you got the Norse pantheon, right? And all these different gods intersect in some way, shape, or form, right? So you've got Neptune, you've got Poseidon, you've got Njord, right? You've got Thor, you've got Zeus, and you've got, I can never remember the Roman one for Zeus and Thor, but yeah. So for me, right, you think it's far more likely, right, that there is one specific being that it's more likely for you, that there is one all-powerful being that created this, you know, design of humans. And I agree, looking at all the science and stuff like that, it definitely looks like there's a design, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, for me, though, I think it would be more likely that, you know, technology is behind it rather than some, you know, all-powerful being. Right, that's just me trying to think logically about the situation.
Yeah, and look, Sori and I have had this conversation, right? And I've said it a couple times on the channel. I'm not sure that the distinction between natural and supernatural is real. So here's what I mean by that. This
is about to get interesting.
Jesus walks on water. Holy shit! You got a guy who's walking on water. Yeah, but. Mm-hmm. What we know about string theory and things like that, how do we know that he doesn't know how to telepathically make it so that I believe if scientists were able to get a sample of that water while Jesus was walking on it, they would see something radically different about the composition of that water. Because I believe that Jesus did something mechanistically, telepathically with that. He didn't just magically walk on water. But if you and I got in a time machine, right, 500 years ago, and said, me and my best friend Dan, we have a way of staying suspended in the air at 30,000 feet for 2 hours and not dying, they would say that you're crazy.
Get
right?
the fuck out of here. Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah.
Right? But you and I both know it's not magic, it's aerodynamics. Right? It's not magic.
Exactly.
So
and this is what I mean. Like, if you're talking from a technological perspective, right, if you were to rock up to, you know, 2000 BC with an automobile and a fucking iPhone, they'd think you were God.
Correct. That's That's the other analogy I had. If I gave Sori a phone, if you gave Sori a phone, right, and you were like, look, this magic box will tell me everything that you said. And then she hits record, right? Or she just calls you, and then you come back and tell them everything. They're going to be like, oh my God, this guy's right? When in reality, it just means you had access to technology that he didn't have. So this is going to get really funky. In Nation of Islam theology, God is not really like God. He's just a scientist. Okay, so
dude, and that is the way I've always seen it, right? Like, whether it's like a single god or whether it's the aliens or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, yeah, which is why I call myself agnostic, because I think there's something, I don't know what. Yeah. But, you know, there's too much evidence to...
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, trying to say that there's not something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in there, it's really interesting. Their cosmology, there's basically one big-headed giant guy, and then there is like a board of scientists. So what we call gods or a pantheon, it's just it's a board of scientists.
So that kind of throws back to the Bible boogie, where you've got God and then gods.
Yes.
Around the
Yes. And you know, that's why I said that in the new world, preachers won't be necessary, but scientists will be, because we got to figure out how he did all this shit. Right? It's just your dad created this amazing machine, and he said, you know what, Dan? You're a smart kid. Figure out how I did it. That's all. That's the scientific endeavor. That's all I'm saying. So I believe science is going to continue forever. That's what I believe. There's a reason the universe is as vast as it is. I believe science is going to continue forever, and that the more we discover of what God does, the more it creates us going, holy shit, you're better than we thought you were. And that's just going to continue in a loop. So I believe that the scientists are actually going to be like almost at the pinnacle of the new world, because they're the ones that are going to give us constantly new reasons to worship God. So that's my perspective on cosmology and the universe. It's we've got one big, brilliant scientist with a lot of power and intellect, who then has a board of very brilliant scientists with a lot of power and intellect. And then when they create us and we're creating the image of God, I could really blow your mind. You know, when it says, when God says, let us make man in Genesis 1. So there's one theory that God is,
who is us?
Right. It's so a lot of people say, oh, it's an intertrinitarian conversation, right? Which is my position.
Yeah, that's the trilogy, right?
Yep. But the Jewish and the Michael Heiser, his position is no, God is talking to the divine council. So when he says let's make man, they're saying he looked at his board and said, okay, let's make man. So in that sense, panspermia may not necessarily be as crazy as people say it is. But my point is, I don't care what you call the being. Here's what I believe. There's a being out there that's more powerful than all of us put together times infinity. He's also extremely brilliant. He's also extremely loving. Right? And he created this universe basically as our playground. And he told us, you know, in the Proverbs, it says, it's the glory of God to conceal a matter and the glory of kings to seek it out. That girl is beautiful. How the hell did she come from you? She must not have come from you, bro.
Hey, listen here, you big Jamaican coconut.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with most of what you said. Like, it's really hard for me to just go, okay, it's one. That's always been the big contention. The big thing of contention for me is how, you know, there's one all-powerful being sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's really weird because when I think back to when I was a kid, you know, a young kid, you know, 3 and earlier then, I remember feeling like I was looking like I was watching, you know, playing a video game or watching TV. Like, I was watching what was going on, but I wasn't really, like, participating, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. That must be
it's really fucking weird. So, looking back at it, I'm like, okay, was this like a reincarnation thing? Is this like a, you know, are we all a part of some huge collective consciousness that keeps getting sent back down and put into bodies and things like that? So,
yeah,
with the DNP stuff, man, that's what that feels like.
Yeah. You should come to the Hoffman group. It's going to be me, Peter, Ian, Kai. We're gonna do like a 2 or 3 day Hoffman like marathon.
Kane,
you should come.
Yeah, man, I'm down for sure.
It's unbelievable stuff, and it's a way of, like I said, I don't believe in the distinction between the natural and the supernatural. And when you listen to Hoffman, you'll have even less of a belief that they're different. And you know, Kai just talked about it, conscious agents. But yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
Definitely. All right, well, I'll jump out and let someone else jump in, but you guys take it easy. Eh? How is my cookie doing? I've been trying to ask for ages.
He's doing good, bro. I'm gonna send you a picture. I'm gonna send you a picture and video of him like once a week, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I told
buddy.
You, when I get over there, man, you're not going to get to keep him. He's coming back with me.
Hey, you got to let me know when you're coming over, man. You got to let me know.
Dude. It's going to happen. It is going to happen.
Rock and roll.
All right, man,
buddy.
take it easy.
Salam alaikum. That is the big homie Dan, one of my favorite freaking Homo sapiens.
Did you see the cookie?
Yeah, Oreo.
Oh!
So Yeah, you forgot about that nickname, right?
Yeah.
Daniel, get on with me real. We got to do some songs. Let's do some songs. Daniel, don't sweat it. We'll have some conversations. We'll deal with those questions because you're asking really good questions. Thank you, Lynette. I appreciate it. Let's get into some heavy metal though. Huh? Let's do some heavy metal. Who wants heavy metal? I want heavy metal. I don't care what you guys want. What's the first band we're listening to?
Well, are we doing the...
Oh, I love Rise Against so much. Let's do Trivium. What's the?
Well, you also said we were going to do the...
Yeah, I know. Zeal and Ardor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so which one? We're doing Trivium?
Okay. There it is. Got it. We're not going to talk to the people.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm very excited about this one.
Okay.
This is for Fernando.
Fernando.
You know, he always dedicates them to Stacy.
Oh, another one for his girly.
Yes.
Girly. Damn, I wish.
It's so romantic.
Oh, you know, actually, no. We could do the official video because if they block us, all that's going to happen is they're going to pause the stream because we're going to have to edit.
The one he picked anyway.
We're going to have to edit it anyway.
Yeah, but he didn't pick the official.
That's
so.
What? Hope Hell is Warm. That's not the song. That's not Trivium.
Link. Oh, whoa. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, he switched it. That's what he had before.
Oh, he switched it.
He switched it for her. No, he switched it for this. Down from the Sky. That's what he switched it to. It was this. Babe, just go with me. Like, okay. I know my system here. It was this. I made a mistake.
All right. Talk to the people.
I made a mistake. It was switched to this one.
Give the people
what
they want.
No, I don't.
All right, I'll talk to the people. All right.
Anything to drink?
No, I got my Gatorade right here. So if I'm thirsty, I just drink my Gatorade. Final Guy DIY. The problem. Thanks, Captain Corpse. Look, I'm always yes, man. I'm still live. Listen, if you want to have a discussion, we'll have a discussion. I don't think it's wise to. Let me not say that. But yeah, whenever you feel that you want to have a discussion, we'll have a discussion. As far as I go, it doesn't really appear to me that you have a very good response as to how we get microscopic machines that kind of just appeared out of nowhere. But if you think that you have a really good argument for that, then I'd love to hear it, bro. Love to hear it. I requested it back when they listened to the Billie Holiday version. Can I have a discussion via phone if optional? Yes, you can talk on the phone. I think I can disable the video feature. So if you click in, what's up 275? Yeah, and again, Captain Corpse, you know, it doesn't even have to necessarily be during a live stream. You know, a lot of people are not necessarily comfortable with talking in a live stream or whatever. So, Vin, do you have an opinion on the Fear of Exodus or an opinion on the early date versus the late date? Yeah, Perk, you know, one of the things we should do is, have you seen Patterns of Evidence? I don't know if it's free on YouTube. I'll buy it for you. I want to hear your opinion on it. I was watching a clip of it a couple days ago. I was like, man, I wonder what Perk would say about it. So I'll text you the link to the video because I want to see what you say after that. It's pretty interesting stuff. You too, Captain Corpse. Saber Wolves, what's good? I would love to see a painting paint itself. Whoa, that was good. You hear what he said? I would love to see a painting paint itself. That's brilliant.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. Holy moly. Woo! Hot fire!
Boom!
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff about Egyptology, man. Akhenaten.
But we're not going to get into that now. We're about to review this song.
Yeah, we're about to review this song. It's really fascinating stuff. I would have like 15 channels if I could, because there's so many things I'd like to talk about. God probably listens to prog metal.
You probably should have a channel where you just...
Yeah, we could have like a Diablo Viscaris, like a prog thing, like in, what do you call it? Petrucci? You see all like the complexities. There's only 6 strings on the guitar. And we would never say, oh, that's solo. He just, like if he said, yeah, I just did that randomly. I do it randomly every time. It just happens to hit every single time.
Ridiculous. All right, babe, let's go.
Hope you get to talk to me before my bedtime. Okay, I'll talk to you before your bedtime, inshallah. Okay, we're going to do the official video. And if it gets blocked, that's okay. All you're going to do, dear listener, is you're going to experience you're going to experience a brief pause, and then after that, we'll be back. Yeah. So I figured we just do the...
60 seconds, something like that.
Oh. So if it gets blocked, is it going to take more work when you edit it to put another video over it?
Well, it is, but it's fine.
No, it's not fine. I don't want to create more work for you. So we're just going to do that.
Yeah, I get that, but this is Fernando for Stacy. And I would do the extra work for that.
All right. We'll do it. All right, for Fernando. Okay. So guys, just so you know, get the YouTube up and talk to the people. Because we don't cut things up, okay? It almost always triggers a copyright claim, which is okay because we offset that with Patreon. But what happens is when you do an official video, they'll block you or they'll cut your stream, right? So it's true on Facebook, it's true on Twitter, etc. I mean, Twitch, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the official video because this is Fernando. And, Sori will do the extra work if it gets blocked. So that's what we're about. So I'm setting this up and Sori's going to talk to you guys.
Also, I totally agree with you. What's Alfro or what? I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but that I think that God listens to all types of music. I think there's going to be all types of music in heaven. I think that there is nothing that's off limits. Like everybody's like, oh, metal, that's a devil's sound, but I don't believe that.
If you get that Middle America thing, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right, guys. Trivium is the first song, and you guys know. Okay, that's not working. Come on! Man, our YouTube download stuff is not working today for some reason. God especially loves Norwegian black metal. This is Fernando. Thank you. We're looking forward to this.
Hey! Oh, so glad you guys are here for this.
Good. All right, Fernando. We're doing the official video for you guys. Did he give you the official video link?
No, but he might have, but I told you I had that Trello issue, so...
I'm bringing my guitar and drums with me to heaven. Flannel DIY Gay, when you get to heaven, you're going to see. You can bring your guitar, but whatever God gives you to play, you're going to be out of your mind.
Ridiculous.
And I want to hear that shit, too. All you friends, when I see you in the new world, you better look me up, bitches. All the pain and suffering you caused us, and that I caused you.
Get one of these.
Oh, babe, that would be so awesome if you did that. Because that's, oh my God, that is so, I love that. Do it again. Oh my God, it makes me want to cry. You're so beautiful, you little princess. Oh my God, you're so pretty. No makeup, no nothing, just beauty.
I do, babe. I have mascara on.
Shut up. Shut up. All right, guys, we're shooting the commercial, and then we're coming right back in. Don't worry, we got to pay the bills, though. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. You are so pretty. Holy shit.
I think you like me in red.
No, I don't like you in red. This is a Jezebel.
I know. We just had that conversation. But whenever I wear a red shirt, you always like it.
I like everything. She's so pretty. Look at that. God almighty.
Said I look like a Greek goddess.
Who?
I don't know. Something in the chat.
You do. Subhanallah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen to some Trivium. And this is for some very
you guys, this is for Fernando and Stacy again.
Fernando, who is one of our favorites on the channel.
Yes.
You guys have favorites? Of course we do.
Okay, so
of course we have favorites.
Stacy listens to this song when she's cleaning the house.
She does. Mm-hmm. Okay, Stace. So this better
One,
be good.
She probably likes good music, and 2, she also cleans. So Fernando got lucky.
Wow, I wish I had a wife that cleaned. She does. I'm telling you. I'm just going to say, just stop. This woman's Superwoman. She's been killing it on the channel for the last 2 weeks. I haven't been doing shit. I've been struggling with my depression and all that shit. Sori's just going, whoop, whoop. I understand, babe. I got you. She's got my back. It's the first time in my entire life that's ever happened to me. Ever. You know, in this world. I had other worlds where I had people, but that was a completely different situation. First time in my entire life I've had that kind of support. So, thank you, babe. Wanted to honor you in front of everybody. All right. This is Trivium. This is Fernando, and here we go. This is Fernando. No. Actually, you probably want to know the name of the song. The name of the song is Down from the Sky from Trivium. Let's go. That is not what I wanted to happen.
The sound of something leaving.
Yeah, that was not what we wanted to happen. This is what we wanted to happen.
Stream, boom, and then you put up a thing that, like, we're done. No refunds.
Down from the Sky.
Lyrics. ahead, brother, minister. Whoa! Talk to him! Talk to him, brother minister.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully they don't block that.
Block it. You know what's funny?
The stream hasn't been blocked so far, so I think
Well,
we're in good
that's
shape, inshallah.
You know what's funny? When it was playing, I didn't realize it, but my volume was turned way down. So I was like, yeah, I mean, it's just not very moving. And then all of a sudden I realized that my volume was like down. So I cranked up and I was like, yo, it was like a totally different song. And then I was like picturing, I mean, I don't know what Stacy looks like, but I picture the Stacy I knew when I was growing up like that. And she's like cleaning the house like a crazy woman with that song going.
Yeah.
I bet you're sweeping fast, scrubbing fast.
Yeah. Unbelievable stuff. Man, this is, I thought this was going to be a love song. This ain't no love song.
No, she cleans the house to it.
Okay. All right, shorty, I ain't mad at you. Why are you looking at me like that? What does that mean?
No, I'm just,
Do you mean you won't
love
lose?
songs have their place, but, sometimes you need something really moving to get you going when you have to do a bunch of work.
Oh, I see what you're
So
saying.
it's like, I'm just proud of Stacy for having such a great song. And it has such, it's an important message. It's not just, heavy and motivating, but it also has a very important message.
It got blocked. Talk to the people. Tell them that, don't worry, we're still here. So it got blocked because we played the official video. So you're seeing it in YouTube land as as the regular, whatever lyric video, whatever. But we originally did the real one, but then we got banned
Vin
by
called victory too soon.
he jinxed it by talking about it. The blocking gods did not approve. Don't worry about it. We're back. Oh, my non-existent God, Daniel Montgomery says, who obviously, if there was no God existing, he wouldn't be able to formulate a sentence. So, Dan, when I get you back on, you're going to have to explain to me how you're able to formulate a sentence if there's no God. Okay.
Violators.
Violators! Violators!
All right, so fun. Absolutely fun.
I love that song.
In a very important message.
I was in a call one time with Alex Hefner and the guitarist. I didn't know he was the main singer. And I was talking to Alex about like some like technical thing with what's that thing that we use? Because I let him borrow it because he needed to do the interview. Ring Central.
Oh.
Yeah, he has my Ring Central account. So shout out to Alex Hefner. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. All of his stuff. I think it's just Alex Hefner. If you Google Alex Hefner, you'll find it. Oh, best reaction channel, greatest reaction channel on the planet. Him and what's the other guys? Blake. Nuclear Reactions. Okay, guys. Lyrically, when was this song? 2008. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. 2008. I think this is probably commentary on the Iraq War. Is what it looks like to me. And
I would agree with that. Yeah, US, that's what I thought it was. U.S.
empire expansion and the consequences thereof is what it looks like to me.
But I really think that it can fit in any time period. You know, the idea of just massacre, innocent blood, stuff like that. You know, vampires feeding on mankind for their own, growing fat on the throne of an empire. Tyrant rules with the threat of a great fire. Like, I mean, there's tyrant rules with the threat of a great fire. Interesting.
That's
Christians.
I've got something for that.
Yeah.
A chasm grows in the cavity of serpentine teeth. Hunger pangs strike for the sweet feast of innocent blood and innocent bloodshed. Now here we go. The vampires feed on the wars of mankind, growing fat on the throne of an empire. A tyrant rules with the threat of a great fire. That's good rhyming. I've opened up my eyes and seen the world for what it's worth. That's a good line. Mm-hmm. Because I was expecting him to say, I've opened my eyes and seen the world for what it is, and it's a terrible place, blah, blah, blah. That's not what he did. He said, I opened my eyes and saw the world for what it's worth. That is the issue. All of these conflicts are ultimately about what we ultimately value.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So every war is a war over what we value. Mm-hmm. So if I look at my fellow man across from me, but he's got resources I want, I say I can't kill him because that human being is more important than that stuff.
Yeah.
But if I flip it and I say, no, resources are primary, then I'm going to kill my brother to take his stuff. Mm-hmm. So when he says I've opened up my eyes and seen the world for what it's worth, that is so powerful. Because if we saw, and the other thing is, you're part of the world, right? So here's what that means, right? Like, if you say the complete purpose of my life is to generate money, generate capital, you're actually degrading yourself. Mm-hmm. You're actually worth more than the capital that you're pursuing. Mm-hmm. So that line, seeing the world for what it worth is actually so huge, and it's really one of the top 2 or 3 reasons for why this stuff is the way that it is. It's our lack of value, and that translates to a lack of empathy. So, for example, we were covering, George Floyd on the other channel, and look, whether or not you thought he was a stand-up guy, whatever. There was a moment where his daughter was talking about the impact of, she was talking about how he always used to brush her teeth at night. He used to brush her teeth every night or whatever.
And she wanted to make sure she was doing a good job.
Yeah,
so she would keep good teeth.
She had really good teeth. And in the middle of that, a guy goes, George Floyd has been drug-free for a year. In the middle of his daughter talking about that, right? And of course, everybody jumped on the guy, and rightly so. But I said, no, this guy is something happened to that person. Like, something happened to where his worth, his judgment of the worth of human beings has been skewed to the point where he can become so callous that he could say that about somebody,
a child even. Yeah.
Yeah, most of us are disarmed by children.
Yeah.
Especially children who've lost parents. But no, we haven't done Rise Against yet, Jedi. Don't worry. So, like, that's the real issue. Is we're not valuing each other. And when I say we, I'm talking about all of us.
Yeah.
You know, like, look, if this guy's talking about Iraq, I mean, you know, I said this on the other channel. I was completely propagandized by the Iraq War in the sense of I supported it. I remember I had liberal friends who were saying, "You do realize we're going to kill innocent people," and I said, "I don't care. They killed 3,000 of ours. I don't care." Now, I have an aunt that died in 9/11, but I was wrong. I was wrong for that. But what happened is they took the pain, and honestly, like, God rest my aunt, and to be honest with you, I'm not worried about her because she wouldn't trade places with me at all right now. But the thing that got me was I saw people from my country jumping out of buildings because they'd rather die that way than burn to death. And that was it. I wanted blood, and I wanted people to suffer for what I was seeing happen in my country. The other thing was I was in Maine. My girlfriend at the time was in New York City. So I didn't know what was going on. I was completely beside myself. I was, you know, and I, you know, knock, you knew that the war was BS in the word go, but I didn't. And I had people in my life that were trying to tell me, listen, man, this is not what you think. I wouldn't listen. I was wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was wrong. Did the government use the pain that I was feeling? Because you guys know I feel things very deeply. Everybody knows that. And I don't believe in talking about stuff. Like, oh, you hurt somebody in my family? I'm going to go find you, motherfucker. I'm going to find you. So, but that's where a lot of us were like that at the time. A lot of us were like that at the time. But they took, you know, when they talk about vampires, you know, they took the pain and the young foolishness of youth where you feel like you're this like invincible person, and they used it to manipulate a whole hell of a lot of us to do a lot of terrible shit to very good people.
Yeah. And
all of us have to answer to God for everything that we've said and done and supported. But I think that it's like almost everybody now says the Iraq War was based on lies and BS.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's crazy to me is like we all go, oh yeah, that was BS, and then everybody like, wait a second, like who's gonna get held accountable?
Yeah, I know.
Who's gonna get held accountable for this bullshit? Nobody. We just went over there and massacred those people and took their shit. You know, Trump, after we got Baghdadi, he was like, hey, he's like, I'm taking their stuff. I'm taking their oil, man. Like, and there's no accountability. Like, we just did that, and our government did that to us, and our media did that to us, and then now we go, yeah, it was all, and they're like, yeah, it was all bullshit. Now you got Bush playing, you know, football or whatever, you know. It's like, it's very hard to reconcile, and really the only people that talk about it really are I keep telling you, the comedians and the artist, the musician.
Yep.
This is what art is supposed to do to a degree, right? Some of it's supposed to be entertainment and you know, fun, and hey, let's all party. And you know, she's listening to this while she's cleaning her house. Shout out to the homie. But there's also the responsibility that these artists, the media, have abandoned us, bro.
Yeah, I know.
So if we don't have the artists still telling us and reminding us, and I know this song is like over 10, 15 years old, but we have to, and I love the fact that it's in song and it's a good song, because then I can show my kids and say, this is what happened to us. And inshallah, we won't make the same error again the next time around. We can see it and go, no, wait a second. I know what you're doing. Which, bless God, that's exactly what happened with the Syria situation. Is they were trying to set us up to go back into Syria. And thank God for Aaron Mate and the Gray Zone and Jimmy Dore. These are regular Americans who really helped us not get lied into another war. Man.
I think that there's kind of multiple things that I thought of when I was listening to this one. One was obviously the war angle, but also when he said hunger pangs strike. I had this dream the other night that it was the weirdest dream that I've probably ever had. I don't know, where I was like a woman in some other place that we didn't have any food, and I had a baby, and my baby was starving to death. And then I was all these different people. Like after that dream finished, then I was in another situation where there was starvation, and another situation where there was starvation. I just kept like all these different lives of different people where starvation was a thing, and it's so incomprehensible to us because, like, I'll say I'm super hungry right now, but I'm like, I haven't had supper.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
That's why I get mad. I'm like, you're not starving.
Yeah, well, I never said I was starving.
I've seen people. No, you say it a lot. I've seen people who are starving.
I guess I did probably say it.
I've seen people who are starving, and it does not look.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know I'm wrong for that because you haven't seen that stuff.
No, but still.
So I should be more sensitive to it. But go ahead.
So it was, I don't know, it was a pretty crazy dream because I was just like seeing all this stuff, and then I was more than seeing it, I was experiencing it, and it was such a frustrating feeling because I was like, people are just going about their day, they're just going about their lives in other places where there's so much food that they literally are throwing stuff into the garbage, which is America. I'm an American in my dream, and in all those dreams, so it was pretty crazy. And then there's another piece that I'll tell you later. It was pretty interesting, but anyway, so hearing that part, like it says, for the sweet feast of innocent blood. I don't know. It just, the idea that some people are struggling and suffering so badly when I don't know. Okay, here's an example that try to see exactly what I'm saying. So I went to Starbucks today to get a drink for me and Vinny, and the kids were there with me, and they're always talking a lot. So I'm like listening to the kids, but also trying to give the order, and it's a very particular order. And then
we've got a pretty that's a pretty complicated order.
It is, but it's super good. So anyway, maybe I'll post it on Patreon so you guys can, if you guys ever go through Starbucks, you can get the Vin Sori special. Anyway, so
we should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, patrons, check it out. Yeah. Vin Sori special.
I just lost the other half.
You know what we should do? We should the next time that we go through Starbucks, you should film it.
Oh, yeah.
See what
I'm
saying?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, go ahead.
So anyway, I'm there, and when the kids, I just noticed that I start, like, when the keypad thing is asking me questions, I just want to put no on everything. Because I don't want any extra cash, I don't want any, I just want to get out of here. And so it was actually asking me if I wanted to give, like, some dollars to starving children or something like that. And I clicked no. And then it was kind of like one of those things, like when I was like, oh my gosh, I just clicked no. And then like after, like you're kind of processing through it, and it's like, well, I get it that I was busy, but that's pretty crazy that I could be
have that option.
Right.
You have that option.
Right.
Yeah. And
if it was my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would be so friggin' focused, and I would be so angry at the rest of the world for not fixing the problem. But
yeah, no, that's true. That's really, really, really true.
I almost wanted to buy another drink just so I could click the option.
That was the one at Shaw's then.
Yeah. It
was okay, yeah.
Oh, I lost my other half of the earring.
There's a line he made about the Emperor and the fire, which is probably a reference to Nero.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Here's Tacitus. Yet no human effort, nor princely largesse, nor offerings to the gods could make that infamous rumor disappear that Nero had somehow ordered the fire. So this great fire is completely destroying Rome, and most of us think Nero did it. And the Nero was like, it was the Christians.
So bad.
Therefore, in order to abolish that rumor, Nero falsely accused and executed with the most exquisite punishments those people called Christians, who were infamous for their abominations. So when he talks about the emperor and the great fire, that's a reference to Nero, who's universally looked upon as being a beast. Like literally, he's called a beast by Pliny, I believe. So, yeah. So obviously he makes reference to religion here, which definitely is a motivation for war. Although I will say that it seems to me that in the last 100 years, capitalism and colonialism have been root causes for many of our wars. As well as human vengeance. See the Treaty of Versailles and then Germany's very horrifically evil response. So I understand the impulse to blame religion, but that's one of those things where, and in 2008, here's the thing that's really interesting. In 2008, there was a religious undertone to the war. I mean, that's a fact. I would listen to Christian radio. I had Christian radio on all the time. When we killed Uday and Hussein, that was on the Christian radio. They were celebrating it. They were talking about it the whole time. If you listen to Christian radio, I'm not talking about right-wing radio now like Fox. I'm not even talking about those guys. Because I wasn't listening to those guys. At the time, I was listening to Christian radio like 5 hours a day. So when I say I was propagandized, I was not propagandized by Bill O'Reilly. I was propagandized by James Dobson. We continue. But now, I've always pointed out, look, it wasn't Christianity that started World War I or World War II, blah, blah, blah. So, like, go check the receipts. I don't blame religion for all war. I mean, we're Christians, right? So we have a vested interest in it. But I will say that religion was definitely the overtone or the undertone when Christian radio was talking about the war. It was framed as these are good guys from Tennessee that just go to church, and then they woke up one day, their country randomly got attacked. These good Christian boys, so they tooled up, and who are they going to fight? The Muslims. So there was a crusader type ideology happening in the Christian world at the time.
Yeah,
that's just
a
fact.
They connected it to something in the Old Testament, like Cain, or I don't remember. Two brothers, and so there was always going to be fighting.
Isaac and Ishmael.
Is that?
Yeah, that's a dispensationalist idea. There's always going to be war in the Middle East because of Isaac and Ishmael, even though I had nothing. I mean, these are Babylonians, or not even. But who cares? We don't care about actual details with this stuff. We're just. Yeah. But the other thing that was happening religiously was they were also connecting this to the end time scenario, because oh my God, Iraq is Babylon, and it's clear in the Ezekiel that Babylon is the big bad guy. So blah 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 blah, and so there was definitely a they definitely theologized that. Bush kind of did, Rumsfeld got on and he said, they want to meet Allah and we want to send them to Allah, so whatever. And then, oh man, I remember when Rumsfeld said, I was like, yeah, fuck those Muslims. I didn't know anything about Islam, didn't know anything about Muslims. I just wanted to kill them. Thank you so much for forgiving me. Good night. And the only thing that I can appeal to is the brutalized body of Jesus Christ to atone for my participation in all that bullshit. They'll rain their Holocaust down from the sky. One of the things that was really interesting about the Iraq War is they televised it. So they had this thing called the shock and awe campaign, and it was just you turn on Fox News. And by that time, I'd already been thoroughly propagandized by Christian radio. You turn on Fox News, and it was just boom, 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 boom. Just complete destruction of that. And it was like, yeah, shock. Go to YouTube right now. Click shock and awe. You'll see it. And we just televised this shit, and every single explosion accounted for a dead human being. And you put that.
What about what Alan just said?
You put that on mainstream media.
There was no Iraq war because it wasn't even a fair fight. Is that what he's saying?
No, it wasn't a declared war. Like you have to,
okay. All right.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a war, right? And as Mohammed Khomeini says, the 9/11 attacks were retaliation for many years of American foreign policy in the Middle East, namely parking all of our stuff in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the holiest city to Muslim people. It's the birthplace of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's very, very holy, and we just step in there because we're a global empire and say, hey, what's up? And of course, the Saudis aren't going to do anything. On top of that, we have unilateral, complete support of Israel over and against the Palestinian people, and those people are facing apartheid and a mini genocide of their own. And we unilaterally supported the Israelis and continuously unilaterally support the Israelis. So that's the issue. The issue, but see, we were not told any of that stuff. Remember what they told us? They said those people, why did they attack us? And Bush got up there in that little speech. I hadn't slept for 3 days, so I missed that speech from Bush.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I was parked in front of my TV, and Fox kept showing those people jumping over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, even I remember seeing it.
I was just, and I was like pretty close to, that's why I ended up in the hospital, like very, very close after that. But
oh, really?
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I'm glad. I don't think I could have hurt someone. I'd say it that way, because there was particularly the one black guy in my AP English class. The day after, he said something like, "I mean, hey man, it happens. People die every day." And I looked at him, and I said, "What the fuck did you just say?" And the teacher said, we're gonna take a break."
I can't believe he said that.
I was gonna murder that kid. I really was. And she said, "We're gonna take a break." I was completely off. My mind was crazy, and I was completely, like I said, it was like day 3, and I hadn't got any sleep, and I just fell asleep. But in the video, Bush goes, "Why did they attack us?" You might ask. They attack us because they hate our freedom. Mm-hmm. No, they didn't attack us because they hate our freedom. As a matter of fact, a lot of these super religious Muslim dudes look at our freedom as slavery. They didn't attack us for our freedom. They attacked us because we consistently attack them, we murder their children, and we support people that oppress and murder their children. That's why they attacked us.
Wow.
That's why my aunt is dead. And my friends. Whole bunch of them. Because they went off and, whatever. So, it's mind-boggling to me that we can be lied into a war and then there's no accountability for it.
I know. It's crazy.
That's the worst part of it. But,
crazy.
there's a God in heaven. So, deal with that. I think it's a very, 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 very important song. Rest in peace to all the... Just rest in peace to everybody, and hopefully we can have peace, and hopefully we can all live, and we can have forgiveness for ourselves and others, and we can figure out how to not murder each other. Mm-hmm. So it's a good song. It's a good song for that. What do you got? What do you give it?
I'm giving it a 9. I thought it was really, well done, and I think the message is important, and it was heavy. Always like that.
It was very, 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 very heavy. I have to read this. It's why my cousin had to go to Iraq to go fight a nation that didn't destroy us and didn't come home.
Oh, God.
Rest in peace to Roth's cousin. And like I said, I hate that all those people died. We killed all those people, and yeah, America, you were fighting for the empire, but at the end of the day, you're a human being, and you got people that love you and miss you, and inshallah, we'll all figure it out. This is a 9.8 for me. Very, very important song. Very, very important song. 9.8. What do you give it?
I give it a 9.
There you are, dear listener. Look, horrible things happen in the world. We did horrible things. Horrible things have been done to us. Guys, do your best to be as happy as possible for as long as you possibly can on this earth, man. Just do your best to be happy. It's a lot of heavy stuff from time to time. I get it.
And try to alleviate the suffering of others.
Yeah. Try to alleviate suffering and love people the best you can, mm-hmm. and be happy. Yeah, there's terrible shit in the world, absolutely. But there's a lot of good, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good, too. All right, there you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. Woo!
Ridiculous.
Oh, Irenaeus. All the seed of Adam is intended for salvation. Whoo! I haven't told Sori this. I'm flirting around with a quasi-universalist type of thing. We'll talk about that soon. I can't talk to Sori because she's still a, traditional evangelical. She'll burn me at the stake. The next song we're gonna do is there's a Bob Dylan song, that's true, but somebody wanted something and I can't remember. Shout out to Pastor and Muppets.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry, honey.
That's our mom. What you talking about? That's our mom. Vin should get deep into the subject sometime. What subject should I get deep into? Hey, can you take over here? I gotta take over there. I gotta work on something. Talk to the people.
Yeah.
Give the people
what they want.
What they want.
Excuse me.
What are you doing?
Excuse me. What are you doing?
I should I'm not gonna say that.
Hello! I'm in charge of the stream now. I love it when this happens. It's happened now. Okay, you guys ask all the questions you want. What do you want to know about Vin? Is it Wolfheart? No, I don't believe that it is. Vinny's.
What?
Is that the song that we're going to be doing next, Wolfheart? I don't believe so.
Wolfheart?
Yeah, that was the our little buddy Danny.
Okay. I need to.
I downloaded it. It's still working on downloading, I think. Let's see. I'm scrolling down. Oh, but you think cutting my hair would be a good idea? Right there on the side.
Who said that?
Ooh.
You still talking about that?
Yeah, well, somebody just brought it back up. I'm like debating it. Although, if I could figure out how to do like a couple of braids right there, I think that would work for me. Let's not say sorrylicious. Vin will not be okay with that. Oh, you like the TikToks, Sean? I've been having fun with them. The kids think I'm super weird, and like Sayla will literally walk away from me when I'm making them.
Making what?
The TikTok. She thinks they're so embarrassing.
She's a hater. Hating on my dress code.
Yeah, that's what Pastor of Muppets. I was wondering, like, I'm like, growing that out must be like a real disaster.
Sorry,
so that's why I was thinking about the braids would be better.
I see. I was downloading it. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still in process. That's what I told you.
Couple minutes left.
Well, it's taking a very long time. So.
Well, it happens.
Let's see. Yeah, that's honestly the reason why I'm debating it, because I feel like it would look really fun and cool for like a little span of time. But then I'm like, if that growing out process, like it must look so weird for like the longest. And I don't think that I like stuff in a particular way. I don't know if I'll like that.
I think our neighbors would like it. And you know that. That's probably where you got the idea.
No, it's not. It's something I've been wanting to do for literally years.
Mm-hmm.
Years.
Mm-hmm.
Do green braids. I don't know what green braids are. Maybe you could learn to braid, Vin, and you could help me out.
Okay.
Would you do that?
What? Green braids?
No, learn to braid so you can put a couple braids right here for me. I knew it.
I don't think that'll happen.
Why? Okay.
Galaxy wants to see you with a mohawk.
Yeah,
the Suns beat the
mohawk.
Clippers. The Suns beat the Clippers.
Yes, I did have red in my hair before. The red comes out so fast. I'm gonna be going back to look, you guys. Look how gray I am.
Oh my God, Paul George missed a free throw.
So I'm gonna be going to get my hair colored soon.
What happened, Paul George? What happened to you, bro?
It's very warm in here, but I don't want to be exaggerating.
I hate you with a passion.
I feel
Paul
hot.
George.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Blue then.
We only have one more song to do. Can you survive?
Yeah, Kai, no joke. I was literally gonna go yesterday to get the package, but I'm like, I don't think it's there yet. But that's right, it's the 27th, and it would have been there.
Look at this, living with a short sleep gene. See, it's genetic. My
It's
inability.
a gift, yeah. I don't have it. I don't have that at all.
What? The ability to sleep
just
short?
a mini amount of hours.
It's a good feeling.
Dan Dax, do not ask stuff like that. That's inappropriate. Actually,
What?
can you just put that little right here?
These people can't control themselves, man.
I know.
We're just gonna ban them.
Yes, Muhammad. That's what we were talking about, was cutting that one side. No, we didn't see the lineup for Hellfest next year. Tasco, what is the lineup?
We're not fans of sex trafficking.
Yeah, no,
So
we're
there's
not. So, yeah. If I like a song and my sister likes the same song and she finds out I like that song, she will intentionally not listen to it.
What was the kid's name?
That was Enoch.
No, the idiot that I'm trying to get rid of.
Dan Dax.
No, he deleted the comment.
All right.
I'll have mercy on him.
I don't know. Megadeth and Trivium Tour. Well, if he deleted it, you know.
That's why I said I'll have mercy on him. I know how you are.
I don't know. Megadeth and Trivium Tour. That would be crazy. I want to know how my brother got Jacob disease for no apparent reason, and his DNA got deformed to a point that his brain shrunk and he died.
I don't know why that happened. All I know is that Jesus Christ came to the earth, he lived a perfect life, and he was also treated horrifically and died in a horrifically painful way that he didn't deserve, but that God brought so much good out of that suffering that it can't be calculated. And I don't know what God's good plans are because of what happened to your brother, but I do know that whatever they are, they're good. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry it happened to you. You guys know that I haven't had a picnic in my life. By no means have I been this like horrible sufferer, but I haven't had a picnic. But I can tell you definitively, every single time I've had some horrible thing happen in my life, God has done something amazing through it. There's a scripture that God gave me one time when I was in the throes of my depression, as I often am, and it's in Isaiah 53, and it says, out of the anguish of his soul he will see and be satisfied, which basically means you're going to go through some pain, but you're going to look back at all of it and say it was worth it, and I would have not changed a thing when it's all over. I promise you that. If you hold to Christ, that is what you will say when this is all over. If you don't, it doesn't change the fact that you have suffering. It just means that the meaning around it and the redemptive opportunities from it are hamstrung to an infinite degree. So I don't want to give you some mealy-mouthed little Christian answer because that shit is real. I look at my boys, how much they love each other. I can only imagine how much you loved your brother, bro. And that must have been heart-wrenching, and I'm glad you're still here because you represent him and you do it very well. And I edit this video.
Tasco, that is such a cute idea. I
painful,
should do
man.
that.
Damn, man.
I know.
It's so hard, the shit people have to go through.
Science doesn't answer the question, what for? So the question, what's the purpose of someone got sick and died is not a scientific question. Why would you even say that?
Don't worry about that.
Let's see. What else do we have here? Yeah, Tasco, it's a good idea, except he doesn't eat sandwiches. Everything he eats is hot.
Who?
You.
Really?
Yeah, you only eat hot stuff. You don't eat anything cold. You don't eat a cold cut sandwich, really. Well, you did when we were on the airplane. So maybe you would do it. Good idea. Did anyone see Black Dahlia? Oops, I just lost that. Dahlia and Rivers of Nile in October. Oh, is anyone seeing them? Oh, and my mentor always says when everything else fails, just pray. That's such a funny thing to say because like prayer is literally the best, most important thing that you can do. So it's not like a last ditch effort. It should be your first go-to. Oh yeah, he eats hot sandwiches. I cook the bacon and then heat up some turkey and put it in a sandwich with some cheese and toast the whole thing. Well, that's what it is, Overshadow. It's his legs. I do think that that's why he doesn't like cold cut sandwiches. I think that something about the gears or something don't work as well when his sandwiches are cold. I'm not really sure why. Or maybe he's just making that up. I don't know. Yes, a hamburger would be a hot sandwich. Oh yeah, it's Justice. I love stuff like that. Vin hates tomatoes and he hates lettuce. What do you think are the demographics of the village, theism wise? I think we're like, I'm gonna say 90% atheist 8% agnostic, and 2% Christian.
Who?
That's my guess on what our channel is, theism-wise.
Alfer. I got that from somebody in the band who's a friend of ours.
What?
A very good friend of mine.
Oh, the one that... Oh, yeah. Yeah. I pray 5 times a day. I'm a Muslim. You do? You do that early morning one? Every time? What's your favorite... So does he toast the bread? Well, kind of. It's grilled. It's like a grilled cheese sandwich, but it's got all kinds of other greatness in it. What's your favorite food? Vin loves my lasagna. And one of these days, I'm going to shoot a video of me cooking the lasagna.
Sori's lasagna is the best in the world.
It actually is pretty good. There's a lot of layers to it, a lot of work in it. But I'm thinking about making like a giant amount of the sauce so it's all pre-cooked and then freezing it so it's not a big job every single time. Is a hot dog a sandwich? No, a hot dog is just simply disgusting. Whoa, people have been saying all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, Pastor of Muppets. Seriously, that's the best one, the broccoli soup recipe. I'll probably do that one soon. The kids have been begging me to do it. Are the non-Christian religious folk getting lumped in with the Christians there? Sorry. Yes, probably. Lasagna, food of the gods, all the greatest food groups in one meal. Exactly. Just, yeah, Senior, I always put mayonnaise in the lasagna. He doesn't know. He loves it, but he doesn't know there's mayonnaise in it. I was hoping he was listening. I'm just kidding. There's no mayonnaise in it. Just in case he watches it later. Fettuccine Alfredo with broccoli and chicken. That does sound good. No one has the authority to say what comes next. Oh, you're agnostic. Shh. Let's see. Well, as an Italian, lasagna sounds... Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a very good one. And I figured out, like, I use spicy sausage in there too, so it has a little bit of a kick to it. It's just very good. Right, yeah, I couldn't have lasagna without sauce. Gross. If there is a word for someone who doesn't follow a religion but is open to any religion. That's true. There's too many groups that I didn't factor in. Because there is a percentage of people, a significant percentage of people that watch our channel that are not in any sort of religion, but they're kind of just searching. So I'm not sure. Sorry, Sonia. Please make the video. Yeah, I know. I really should. Part of it is getting somebody to hold the camera through the whole process. And like I made a video one time and I had one of the kids record it and they just did not do a good job. They like were zoomed in when they should have been panned out and there was so much stuff that they missed. And I was so annoyed by it because I thought it was like going to be a certain quality and it wasn't, that I haven't made one since. But that's probably irrational and I should try again. What's your most memorable reaction? Daddy was a tough one. That was a really, really tough one. And it's the comment section is something that I periodically go to because it's a pretty painful comment section. But I feel like it was really meaningful and that people that have been in that situation have been molested and stuff, that it was therapeutic for them even to see it. And the way that the video came together I thought was very artistic because it wasn't planned, but I was so broken by the end of that video that I just like burst into tears and the camera was still rolling. And so when I went to edit the video I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize the camera was still rolling. And so I left it in because it kind of mirrored Jonathan's breakdown at the end, how he was just sobbing. So I love the way that video came together and it was unexpected and it was painful, but also, I don't know, really good. Then there was Five Finger Death Punch. We did that one at the military one. That one was a heavy one. And also The Sound of Silence was another one that really, really cut me. That one was really good. I've actually been listening to that Take Me to Church. I don't know. Is it Hoser or whatever? I've been listening to that one a lot the last couple days. And Hurts to Be Human by Pink. Those I've been just like on a rotation, just listening to those two. But it's crazy because Vinny was like, hey, we did a reaction to that Hoser song. I was like, huh? So I put it on and I started watching our reaction and I was like, okay, I remember now. He's editing a Middle America video. I was like, I remember now why I didn't re-listen to the song was because the interpretation was a little bit painful. But what I get out of the song is different than what they say. I don't think there's Septic Flesh on the lineup right now. We have the short list that we're, trying to work through. Obviously, we got a little behind because of my maternity leave. So we're doing our best to get caught up. Then we had internet issues and all that. So, but I don't think there is any. I don't think we did Today by Smashing Pumpkins. In my 40s, I've wondered about my belief system lately, and I think I am more for the spiritual side and less about the human institution of it. Yeah, Ranter. I've been thinking a lot, too, about religion and God and how those things come together in a person's life and how people are on a spiritual journey, whether they want to be or not. We all have spirits. And so your spirit is on a journey, whether your mind is complicit with it or not, is kind of what I've been thinking about. And so your journey, everybody's journeys are different. And some people end up in a church and then they get hurt in the church and they leave away because they feel like this is too far away from how it is with God. And so they go away from that. And then sometimes they circle back around, or sometimes they get into other types of religion. And I just think that if God really does exist, and if he really did send his son Jesus, then he will reveal that son to us if we're supposed to see him. So I used to stress out about people not seeing things the way that I saw them because I was afraid that everybody would just land in hell if, I didn't say what I needed to say to them. But now I'm just like, you know what? God is much bigger than me or my ideas or my persuasion, and everybody is on the individual journey. And I think I'm learning that more because I have so many kids and they all kind of go through phases where they think different things, and we allow them and we encourage them to use their own mental faculties and come to their own conclusions on stuff. Of course, we influence them with our knowledge and our wisdom and our understanding, but we don't pressure them to believe a certain thing, because if you pressure somebody, you don't actually know where they are or what they really think. So, overshadow. I'm also in my 40s. Christianity is far stronger than me than it was 10 years ago. Yeah, I think that the farther you go in life, when you're at the beginning part of your life, a lot of times you kind of feel invincible. You feel like, nothing's gonna. Then you start getting older and like your knees start bothering you, or you crack when you get off a chair. Different things, and you're like getting older and you're starting to realize that actually I'm not as strong as I thought I was. I am. This body's breaking down. And I think it starts kind of making you think about all the people that were before you. This is what's been happening to me. I look at, so-and-so was 35 when I remember seeing her when I was 12. And I thought she was so old when she was 35. Just different thoughts, And then you start thinking about, oh my gosh, that woman that was there was 35 when I was 12. She's now at this age, or they've passed away or whatever. So it kind of starts making you think about forever and what that means, and how does your spirituality fit into that, and how does, we can all argue and we can debate our thoughts and the way that we would break things down, but at the end of the day, when we're by ourselves and there's no one to argue with, and you have to kind of contend within your own self about what your thoughts are and what the future holds for you, then you have to answer certain questions that you could normally avoid, especially if you're trying to be honest with yourself. And then that, I don't know, it can really kind of start moving you in certain directions.
Shit.
What happened?
This thing is 55 gigs big.
Oh.
So no way we're going to get this thing over. I mean, I know how to do it. It's just going to take a while.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Let's
yes,
into what subject?
I did well, just the idea of, you know, death and what is spirituality and where is your direction and what is your belief in God? How does that affect your life? Stuff like that. But yeah, Nicholas.
Oh, we're switching?
Oh, I don't care.
I mean, I don't know. Look pretty good over there, but whatever.
Yeah, I actually like my hair being on that side.
What's good, Necro? Good to see you, buddy.
So wait, could
I mean, we
Nicholas, have you
can-
met someone that tells you specific? Yes, Nicholas. So
There you go.
I was going into this.
Into what?
Oh yeah, that's not going to accomplish it. It's that when I looked at you, I liked that my hair was on this side.
Oh, sure.
But
sure.
anyway, so Nicholas,
Go ahead.
yes, that happened to me. I was a teenager. I was like 15 years old, I guess, and I was questioning my spirituality and kind of questioning. You guys are going to think this is so ridiculous when I tell you. I was questioning things, and I was kind of like, my parents were so strict growing up. Like, I've told you guys, we couldn't watch Disney, we couldn't anything with magic, none of that. And I'm thinking I was probably like 15 or 16 years old. So this is going to sound even more crazy. But I was watching Casper the Ghost, like literally the kids one. And, but for me, it was kind of like, I was kind of like questioning my Christianity and stuff. And so I think that was like my first little couple steps toward, well, what does the other side have to say? And so even though it was just like a little kids film, I was still like pretty nervous watching it because my parents were so strict about stuff like that. And when I was there, I know that sounds really silly because it's so childish, but when I was there, I was in my parents' basement, and I was thinking a lot about what my future was, and if God picks who your future spouse is, or if you are the one that picks them, is there multiple people for one person and you pick the best out of those few, or is there literally just one person? And so I was praying some very specific things, and one of the things that I was praying was like asking God, like, will you bring me someone that's not like a slouch, you know? Like, I want somebody that's masculine and somebody who's serious about God and serious about their Bible, and is not just, because I had met so many people that were not really serious about their religion. They were just kind of like there because their parents were there, and to me that was like so boring. Like, why do something because someone made you do it? Like, do what you want to do and put your whole heart into it. But I wasn't finding anybody like that. I wasn't finding anybody that felt like they were like a twin soul to me. And so I asked God if he would bring me like a man of God. And that was what I wrote specifically in my journal. And then this guy that hadn't seen my family in like literally years, he shows up at the door, and he's knocking on the door, and my mom answers, and he was asking for me. And my mom was like, yeah, Sori's downstairs. And the minute he showed up, I was so super nervous, because I'm like, he probably knows I'm questioning if God even exists or whatever, because this guy was like very spiritual, and he hadn't come by in a while, and here I am questioning God completely, and he shows up. I'm like, friggin' God told him to come say something to me. So I went upstairs, and...
Who is this? I never heard this story.
Yeah, you have. I let you read it in my Bible too, because I wrote the situation out. So anyway, so I went upstairs, and he started telling me some very specific things, and I had a real problem with like talking to God, like if I like, because a lot of times the analogies in the Bible is that he's your father and you're like a child, and you know, like I love my dad, but we never had like a real like father-daughter relationship like I would have wanted. And so I had a hard time like crying out to God or asking God for anything, or, you know, having that sort of father-daughter relationship with God. And so he came over, like he didn't know anything, because literally everybody thought my family was perfect. So nobody was suspicious of anything. So he shows up, and he's like, Sori, he said, God wanted me to tell you a couple things. He said, one is that you need to learn to cry out to him like a daughter. And I was like, okay. But I didn't want to let him even know that he was even on the right track. So I just kept like a face that looked like basically like a typical teenager, like, what are you doing? Why are you talking to me even? And because I wanted to know whatever he said was authentic. He like hesitated back for a second because I think it was like uncomfortable for him.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to know that he's not going to put any extra flowers in there because I look like I'm reacting. So I just made it look like, I don't know where you came from, but you are dead wrong. And so then he said, also, God is preparing a man of God for you, not a boy. And I was like, interesting. So those were the things that I was praying about specifically. And look, here I have Vinny. But anyway, so that was like super specific. Nobody would have known that. My family didn't even know that. Nobody knew where I was at and, you know, the place I was at. So maybe that was a very long story to answer your question, Nicholas. Perhaps I said too much. I don't know.
What was the question?
Has anyone ever told you something super specific about yourself that made you know there was a God?
Uh-huh.
So that was like, that was big time for me. I wrote it in my Bible. Maybe I should take a picture of it sometime and put it up on Patreon. Okay.
What?
Ready?
Yeah, I'm working to whatever. Vlad.
I mean, I'm working to whatever.
Vlad, listen. Watch the first 30 minutes of this show when you get a chance. Where's my headphones?
Oh, they fell. Yeah, I was too busy answering the question to focus on that.
I didn't say anything.
No, you did.
Watch the first 30 minutes of the show, Vlad, and then come back to me with the leprechaun stuff, okay? Okay. Whoa. God help Ranter Matt's mom find their dog. That's real shit. Would he be the most discriminated group? We'd kill him, that's certain. We would absolutely kill God if he showed back up on the earth, like we did the first time. And it would be the right-wing Christians who would be at the head, crucifying Jesus, calling him a Marxist. I guarantee you. I guarantee you they would. You remember that time I read James to Dorian? Mm-hmm. No, I told Dorian to read James, and I said, what did you find? He goes, that James fella sounds like a Marxist, like AOC, he said. Okay. What's the next song, babe? Pull up the thingamajiggy.
It's right here. This.
Oh, Rise Against. You gotta do Rise Against.
The name of the song is Enter.
Vlad, I don't believe in the supernatural. So, I'm not your guy, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, Vlad, I'm certain that if me and you actually got into a discussion, it would come out that you believe in way more magical stuff than me. I almost guarantee you that.
Do you think that we could stop the stream and start it again so we'd have one completed video for tomorrow?
Yes.
I don't have to edit it for this.
Well, you still have to edit it because it got blocked.
No, we do this next song.
Oh,
this
the next one.
This one. Turn off, turn on, so we
got
have
you.
something, and then tomorrow when I wake up, I can do the other editing.
No, I do not believe that possession is supernatural. If you read any of Don Hoffman's work, you'll see that there's a perfectly scientific explanation for demonic possession that doesn't necessitate anything supernatural. So, anyway, Vlad, you don't have enough information to interact with me right now. So go back, watch it for the first 30 minutes, then come back to me. We'll talk again.
Ranter, they found him.
Found who?
The dog.
Of course, he said.
Oh, I didn't see that he found it. I thought you said pray.
All right, guys, we're going to kill this stream and go right back online so that Sori doesn't have to do much work. It's 12:51, for God's sake. So we're coming right back. We're coming right back.
Like literally seconds.
Yep. Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Well, we're not really out.
Right, we're coming right back.
Because we're coming right back.